Hello and welcome to the back nine of round one. It's our JomezPro feature card, the inaugural Open at Austin presented by Lone Star Disc. We're at Henry Penick Disc Golf Course here in beautiful Austin. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We are your two hot geese.
Honk. Yeah, same folks who did the Open at Belton, but this is a brand new course. If you didn't watch the front nine, talking to you psychopaths, I love you. Yeah, totally new. We're all experiencing this for the first time and in some horrible conditions. Look at some rough scores there.
Like, we're talking a 50-degree temperature swing from yesterday. That's not dramatizing it. That's real life. Even in one under, is only 3 people in our field of 50. Being +4 keeps you in the top 20, though. So not a lot of scoring separation happening at all at this course. It's a lot of just par or die here.
Yep.
Birdies are hard to come by.
Hole 10 is kind of an interesting one. You're throwing over out of bounds, but the line is kind of pulled back. So some of this greener, rough area is actually in bounds. The drone is flying over the forehand or the turnover line. You see there is some OB string line on the left in the woods. And there's no OB green deep that doesn't really come into play. So you see the turnover or forehand on the left, or you see the big hyzer trying to get a skip on the right side. It's only 276, so you really want to get a putt on this one. Worst mistake is leaving it low, going this left gap and ending up OB by hitting a tree.
This is a deceiving 276. I feel like it plays a little longer. Maybe it's just having to go over the top of that stuff. It feels longer, but
on the hyzer route, it's definitely longer. Kristin blasting past it. Really great height on her forehand. She'll have a putt for birdie.
Catrina lining up the hyzer line. We had a right to left crosswind here. Is that right?
I actually
think... No, tailwind.
It was left to right, I remember.
Okay.
So it was like really great for the forehand or turnover play. Catrina going hyzer and leaving it just short of the circle. Yeah, you can see the wind kind of going left
whipping.
to right. Mm-hmm. So the hyzer play was a little bit tougher to get it all the way there because of the wind. But it's the safer play for sure. It's kind of taking all those trees out of play.
Mm-hmm. And Lisa will be in circle 2 for her birdie. Deann.
Whoa. Elevator disc.
Did that get flipped or did it touch a branch?
It was really high and it just got slammed down and kind of yo-yoed, but she's up there.
Lisa just chipping up, playing for par. This was a middle of the pack hole. 11% of the field getting birdies. That's 6 competitors.
Yeah, we should see more as the weekend goes on, ideally. I haven't looked up the weather for the next couple days. I'm too scared.
I know. I don't want to know. I'll just
Catrina
show up.
for birdie.
Oh.
Kristin a little low on her birdie putt. Here's where the sun comes out for a hot second. Par's fine, everyone. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to call one of the holes a gimme birdie, though, this is probably it. I guess there's one other shorter one, but I think the OB's harder. Or, not shorter, but yeah, easier.
Yes.
We're happy with par. Everyone get that in your heads.
This course feels like the everything's fine meme with the flames all around.
Yeah.
Where you're just sitting at the table drinking coffee.
Yeah.
Looks like conditions are pretty similar for tomorrow. So tune in again.
I don't want to hear that.
And watch one person shoot under par. Kristin Tattar is a boss.
Yeah.
2 greens, A+.
No bogeys, too, which is even more impressive, I think.
100%. Hole 11 at 335 feet. You think, gimme, but all those trees in the front, all the little tiny gaps. The only 2 really, I think, feasible gaps are a right-hand hyzer all the way to the right-hand gap, or there's a turnover gap on the left side. But the wind today was right to left, and it makes that turnover a little bit more difficult. Kristin going for that left gap, though, with a distant sidearm. That's not a play I included because it's not even in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But it is in hers.
She can get there, though. Mm-hmm. Also, Kristin did get a bogey on the first hole. It's just off the screen, and I have a short memory. And Kristin gets all the way to circle's edge with that huge forehand shot. There's like 3 people in our field who have that kind of power on the forehand. This is probably the most typical play, you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Especially in the kind of right to left
Ooh,
wind today.
Catrina getting some good ground play, but she'll still be in circle 2. That's pretty typical on this hole.
Yeah, it just takes a little extra power having to swing it out wide. There's no real way to attack straight at it. That was a narrow gap. Kind of straight at it. Lisa.
I wonder if that was on purpose. It's hard
It
to
had to
tell.
have been. She is gonna... I don't even know if she made it to circle 2, but hopefully an easy par look.
Deann going for the hyzer as well. Looks nice and soft, just trying to get through the gap. She's not being too aggressive, but she still gets some good distance. And this green is very surrounded. Lots of trees inside the circle. Kind of creates a little backboard effect. You can come in a little hot. Whoa!
It can make the comebacker tough, though. Like, we'll see if Lisa has some trouble to deal with. You see that strong right to left wind.
Some of the gusts that came through would, like, kind of push you over. Like, it was insane.
Catrina, big birdie putt.
Look at all that wind action.
Kristin with another birdie look.
The flag straight out, which I've heard that means it's at least 15 miles per hour.
Just low again.
There were 5 birdies on the day in FPO, 9% of the field. Very minimal bogeys, so it made it one of the 3 easiest holes of the day.
And let's get that star par for the card.
Yeah, the middle part of the course, I think, is like where you can breathe for a second. The beginning and the end are
highly stressful.
Highly stressful, technical, OB-ridden holes.
This is dream killing.
Yeah. You have to
self-esteem squashing.
You have to start the round off just knowing that you're going to get some strokes and then finish the round knowing that you're going to get some strokes.
It's a good time. Hole 12 is a pretty difficult par 4. It's 587 feet. There's OB on the right. There's a little island of OB on the left, though some rocks kind of block it. You want to get kind of to the left of where the drone is flying to open up your second shot, where you're going over an OB green, and you see the OB wrap all the way around this elevated pin. So you can see this landing zone. That's actually kind of more left than I think a lot of ladies are landing. The trees kind of block the path all the way there. Forehand is a fantastic play if you got the power, which Kristin obviously does.
It's about 300 feet to the corner that's out of bounds that you want to get around, or to the right, or to the left of, sorry. And Kristin's right at that mark.
Yeah, it's a super good shot. I'm curious if she'll still be a little bit pinched on the right, or if she got far enough to see the basket. You want to end up, I think, just a little bit more to the left.
Catrina's disc turning over towards the out of bounds.
That's kind of huge.
That's giant for sure.
Great shot.
She might be far enough.
Yeah, good trust.
During the calm practice days, this was one of my favorite holes.
Yeah.
I love this hole. I think it's like just really well designed. I think it's great for FPO as well, because you can be like appropriately aggressive here and then set up your second shot pretty well, or you have the option to lay up and pitch over and play for par. So I love that you have both options. They're both really feasible and fair. In the conditions, it was definitely playing tougher.
Yeah, Deann gonna land in that area where it's probably layup time. Yep. Short left is the biggest layup area. Deann doing really nice to get close to the green, but in no danger. Lisa far enough to the left that she can think about going across, but she just lays up as well.
Yeah, probably 325 with the low ceiling from where Lisa was. Maybe a little farther.
Yeah, you gotta be careful too with a full drive. If you skip off the green, you can find that OB if you're not careful. Look at this. What a boss. Forehand.
She's about 300 feet away here. And inside the circle.
Sweet.
This was an elevated basket, but there was almost no wind on the green.
That's probably the best backhand drive of the day from Catrina.
Definitely. And a nice forehand to follow up.
Fantastic. Let's see if she can get the first birdie of her round going. Lisa's third. Coming in a little hot.
There's a little room to work over there. I like this green too. It's not as pinchy as some of the OBs can be.
Yeah, I think this... Ooh, this is a nice shot from Deann. Come on, settle. This course definitely has potential. Like there's definitely
there's some really high
gems.
points.
There's some cool shots, and in the calm conditions, it plays so much better. But anytime you play a new course for the first time, there's going to be some growing pains.
Lisa, unfortunately, going to settle for bogey at best, just high on her par putt.
Catrina for a birdie, left side.
Nice par from Deann. Really well executed play on that hole.
Great putt. And stringing together 5 pars in a row might sound easy, but that's about as good as it gets out here. Unless you're maybe Kristin Tattar or Evelina throwing it in.
Nice par, or birdie. That was a birdie from Kristin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was one of only 3 birdies on the day. Evelina Salonen and Ella Hansen getting the other 2.
Did Evelina throw it in from 100 feet like her other birdie? No, I'm sure she got it close.
This is the type of hole that she could just absolutely park with forehand.
Yeah, totally.
Her and Kristin with the forehand strength.
Catrina and Lisa taking the bogey there. Deann with a really solid par, and Kristin going 2 under with that birdie.
Onwards and upwards, literally to hole 13. Straight uphill, 310 feet. We had a ripping tailwind. This green is out of bounds, but it's fairly simple to get over it. If you don't feel comfortable, you can bail out to the left. There's no out of bounds, but on the right side, there's an OB line along the tree line. This basket is perched right on the edge of a very steep, slopey hill. It's pretty cruel green, especially in the wind we had right here. I like the forehand play. Backhand works great as well. This is one of the holes that I felt super comfy on, even in the wind.
I think, well, the tailwind just made it tough because if you skipped, it could carry your disc OB. So I think Kristin going forehand here is really smart to minimize the mistake. Yeah, it definitely plays quite a bit farther with that uphill.
Let's see Deann doing the bailout left play.
Yeah, I just think this gets a little dangerous in the wind, but she's fine. Maybe it doesn't come up as fast as I think.
Yeah, there's tons of room over there.
Okay.
I think the cart path is the only OB, and it's pretty far away.
Okay.
It's actually not even listed as out of bounds.
Oh, is it not?
Yeah. You'd have to be pretty silly to get over there.
Just Catrina getting, I think, circle's edge-ish. Solid shot. Maybe I just assume there's OB.
Yeah.
You start getting in your head like, it's everywhere.
Compared to the rest of the course, it definitely feels like it would be. This hole is so extremely uphill. This little approach that Deann has is probably about 30 feet of elevation gain.
Yeah, she lays up nicely. So does Kristin. Probably quite a few pars on this one today.
Yeah, this is not one you mess around with on the green. Probably a lot of layups. Although it looks like only 4 people got into the circle for birdie. There were only 3 actual birdies.
Yeah, here's one. Great putt. Catrina finally connects. What a great birdie.
Heck yeah, that's a great one to get. Aria Castrita and Rebecca Cox also getting birdies. 57% of the field got to circle 2 in regulation, but I think a lot of those were probably layups. This green is sketch.
Catrina moving back to 4 over, which, keeps her in that tie for 13th.
Very comfortably in the top 20.
Yeah, hopefully she can get another, 1 or 2 and finish clean, get in the top 10. Hole 14 was so windy on the top of this hill.
So windy.
It's 300 feet, but you see this weird square of blocked off OB kind of marked by these white stakes, so you can kind of see where it is from the tee. The danger is throwing something maybe too fast that skips left, and then you see that big hill. If you skip at all, you're gonna be out of bounds. You're gonna skip and roll out of bounds. So hanging it out to the right is pretty common.
Yeah, there's no safety net down there. It is a downhill roll to OB.
I like the mid-range just to try to get something slower to stick. Really great shot from Catrina.
Really buzzing that hill, though. That right side hill is so tricky because not only is the wind kind of ramping off up the hill, it's also doesn't let you throw the low shot that you are comfortable throwing in the wind.
And so this one you can see is left to right, but it was kind of swirly. It was like the wind met the other part of the course and just clashed together like two giant tidal waves. I threw grass up in the air
perfect storm
so many times, and it kept changing directions. Kristin with a forehand, gonna stay in bounds, but that's gonna be a super sketchy putt. And that's super overturned from Deann, no chance.
Pretty common mistake on this hole. Just trying to not come in super hot on that green.
Well, the wind really kept those over. It turned Deann's disc a little bit more than she wanted. Lisa throwing nice and stable, great trust.
Yeah, I think the play here is to throw something overstable, kind of on a spike hyzer, and just hope that it grabs. And it feels so reckless.
Yeah, in practice without the wind, a mid-range felt great.
Yep.
But then in the wind, you needed something really stable and a little bit faster, I think. Whoa.
Oh.
Kristin just laying up, but it just kind of floats too long. Stay safe. Not sure if it rolls.
That's so impressive that it stayed safe.
Yeah. I mean, it had no speed on it.
Look at Lisa, not even taking a chance. Catrina, though, says she'll give it a shot.
Take the chance.
One shot. Oof.
And that's the problem. At least she stayed in bounds, but this is such a tall putt on the elevated basket.
Wow.
Look at that.
That's great.
It's 15 feet straight up.
So that's 3 Catrinas up. Nice putt from Deann. Super solid.
Yeah, way to keep it just to a single bogey. So easy to let your mistakes compound out here.
I think this was the most birdied hole.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's that 276-foot one. What is that, 11? I think this one's easier. It's kind
Just
of
a sketchy green.
Yeah.
But only 28% of the field with a bogey or worse, so people figuring out the safe plays at the very least.
All right, got 3 pars, Deann keeping it to a single bogey with that good putt.
And Deann and Lisa both really holding on through those middle holes. It's like I said, just the first few and the last few that get you. Hole 15, one of the big downhill holes, looks super fun from the tee pad. Add that wind in though, and you're instantly terrified. I'm just kidding. This green's out of bounds, but you can bail out left. There's room over there. A lot of people will play down to the right as well. It does bring those trees into play on the upshot. The scariest part, in my opinion, is the approach. There's an out of bounds line along the wood line right behind the basket, so you can't come in too hot. I don't know. The drive feels pretty cushy to me. I feel like there's lots of places.
It was a straight headwind though, so you really need to throw it low like Catrina is doing, and it's a little turned right, but just fine. If you threw this nose up or too high, the wind really messed with the disc.
The wind takes control, full control. In calm conditions, this will be one of the easiest holes.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think it's hard to get all the way there for birdies unless you throw super far.
Oh, I forgot it's a par 3.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of it as a 4.
No.
Yep.
It's hard.
It is very hard.
It's not that hard to par, but you really have to make a choice. Are you going to go for it over the green, or are you going to lay up and then have kind of a tricky approach?
Look at Lisa's just dancing.
That's a really good play, though. It was safe the whole time. She should have a, hopefully, routine upshot.
I did not realize this was a par 3.
It's a hard 3, dude.
It's a really hard 3. It's hard in just complete
calm. You were
calm.
calling it easy, and I was like, man, did you get like way better in a very short amount of time. Like I think it's hard. That was a good shot from Deann, keeping it nice and low.
Catrina throwing a forehand approach over the hill. That right side, too, makes this tricky with that hill that you have to throw over the top of. She'll barely be on the edge of circle 1. Deann messing with those trees, and she has the hill as well.
Yeah, pretty awkward patent pending. And she throws it kind of low, but scooches up there, just outside the circle. I like landing on this side. I think the approach is a little bit easier.
I agree. And the hill's not as much in play.
Mm-hmm. That looked really solid from Lisa. Kristin, man, she landed pretty close to the green, but kind of a, I was going to say luxurious, easy chip shot, but she actually goes a little bit deep. She has a little bit of a putt left. Catrina, long look for par. Dang!
Nice putt.
Big old straddle jumper. There's her putt heating up. She kind of missed more putts than we're used to seeing on the front, but look at this. No doubt.
Pretty sure everyone missed more putts on the front than they ever do with the wind.
Accurate.
There was one birdie on the day. Paige Pierce threw it in from 70 feet.
Tight. Sweet birdie.
Yeah.
It's funny. Oh, Deann, little Annie putt. That was awesome. 2 slow mezzes.
Yay.
Let's get it. What a great angle.
And that's towards OB too. That's a baller putt.
Sweet. It's crazy there was 2 big throw-ins today for birdie.
Not one player got to circle 1 or circle 2 in regulation.
Without the headwind, I think we'll see some birdies though.
This is a hard par 3. Kristin fluffing one on the left side. Unfortunately,
she does make mistakes.
She does. And is that her first bogey?
No, she bogeyed hole 1. Okay. I did this earlier, remember?
Okay. Oh, yeah. I also have a short memory.
She's still 1 under.
We're just geese. We're not PhDs.
It's not even the right use.
I know. But Kristin's still under par.
So is Ella Hansen.
Nice. Everyone else over par.
+3, keeping you in the top 10.
Yeah, look at the top 20 line sliding down to +7. Oof. Where people are finished at +7.
It finishes rough here.
Yep, getting through those last holes. This is one of them.
Yeah, you see this fairway looking thing on the left? That's the OB. We're flying over OB. The fairway's on the right. It's where all the trees are.
You can't see it because the drone is not flying over.
Yeah, this is what I thought was the fairway, honestly, at first. So anyway, you throw towards some trees. If you mess up, there's a really hard drop zone. You can see on the right how skinny it is. You can hang it way out to the right, but then the approach shot is really, really tough. I don't like this hole.
Yeah, after my first walkthrough, this was the only hole that I had immediate huge beef with.
Huge beef. Not small beef.
No, look, Catrina's just in the center of the heart of OB. Mm-hmm. That tree on the left side is in bounds, but it blocks any safe play of being able to throw a big turnover or a forehand.
You're basically throwing right at those 3 trees.
Yeah.
Or over way wide where Lisa is. That's the safest play.
This is the safe play for sure.
But it takes birdie pretty much out of play.
It definitely takes it out of play because it adds an easy 300 feet onto an already 500-foot hole.
Mm-hmm. So this is kind of what you have to do to try to get the birdie, and it's a little bit risky.
That's such a well-executed shot from Deann. That's such a hard shot, and she made it look easy, and it's not, folks. There's some low-hanging branches over there that are rough. This is the ideal play. If I had this in my bag, this is what I would be throwing. The forehand is it. All you need is about 300 feet.
Yeah, and a grand rive, which you're not even allowed to throw, so you'll never be able to do it.
Catrina from the drop zone after going out of bounds. It's far. I don't know.
It's quite a rip.
Let's see if it says how far it is. It's 320 feet to the green. Catrina makes that no problem.
Yeah, in the calm conditions, it doesn't feel too hard from the drop zone. Do you remember the wind on this one, though? It was kind of tail.
Wasn't it right to left?
Yeah,
tail right to left?
It was a tail cross of some kind. Though it looks kind of calm right now.
It does.
Kristin looking like she's going to make it over in 2 and inside the circle. Fantastic. Deann, pretty rough lie for having such a good drive. This tree looks like it's right in her way. She's going to throw an Anheuser around it.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah, wow.
Dang, that's such a good shot.
Gorgeous.
Man.
Did you see her face afterwards? Lisa's third.
28% of the field got birdies on this one. This was the most birdie hold.
All right, so I guess we're just bad.
I mean,
I'm confused.
me too. Blowing my mind. Oh, Catrina a little high to recover for par.
The distance is short. I guess that's why.
Yeah,
It's just a tough
first shot.
landing zone. Yeah.
And trying to chip up the right side is sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm liking Lisa's play here, going way wide around.
Yeah, it's safe, and that was a pretty stress-free par from her. Really great putt to finish it off. This is the most birdied hole. I can't get over that.
28. It's one of the.
Gosh.
I think it's the only hole that's been over 20% of the field
Wow.
birding. That's blowing my mind as well.
Kristin with a great birdie to get back to 2 under.
Catrina with a bogey after that early out of bounds stroke, but a pretty good recovery from the drop zone.
Mm-hmm. And Deann with a par.
Kristen still
2 under, man.
still hanging out in the green club.
I just think the plastic is very premium.
I think it's the quality of plastic.
It's unlike any other plastic that you'll find in the industry.
It's something I can consistently trust.
You're gonna wanna put multiple discs in your bag.
You can only say so much where they have to eventually just try it themselves and see.
Oh, hole 17. Mando right off the tee. Got to go to the left side. Couple of trees early. The best place in the world to be off the tee is just past this big tree on the right here. If you can get there, you can technically birdie the hole. A lot of people might lay up to this little tiny gap and then pitch through. It just depends on how crazy you're feeling. All these little sticky trees can definitely bring some interest into the equation on your second or third shot, or fourth or fifth, depending on how crazy you get in there. It's nice to have a wooded hole after a bunch of golf course holes. It's also brutal
it's
to
a little
have.
tight on the approach. I like the drive, and that was really well done from Kristin. It calls for a forehand, but you don't have to have the power forehand. Lisa, loves it. That's great. She's around the corner.
The fist bump.
I know. The early, she knew.
Yeah.
Not
Claimed
having a
it.
forehand is definitely pretty penalizing on this one.
Sketchy. Deann turning it over. Can it get through? That's fine.
Yeah, she'll be all right. The upshot, I think, is just a little bit too tough. There's too many tiny trees that could just shoot you in a crazy direction if you go for it.
There's even some tiny trees like right in the middle.
Catrina with a solid forehand as well.
They're making that shot look way too easy.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought Kristin's was really good, but she's just playing for par at this point.
Yep, just laying up to the mouth of the little tiny gap. This is like a mini hole 12 at Northwood Black,
But like really small.
but like tiny.
Little baby hole 12. Deann not able to get out of the woods. Catrina with this is like a dream look at it. But look at how narrow that gap is late.
Go for it.
Throw it in.
Yes. Flip up. And that's the most common
Yeah, it's fine.
mistake, or I guess place that you error if you have a perfect drive like Catrina did. And it's still a putt. Lisa with a really nice flex shot.
Yeah, that was cool. A little bit punished in there.
Wow, this played is the third most difficult hole. I knew it was going to play tough, but I didn't think it would be one of the toughest.
I think maybe just clearing out a few more of these little trees on the approach would be nice.
Or make it it cannot be a par 5.
No,
Absolutely not.
No, I mean, I like the general idea of what they're trying to do with the hole. I think it's just a little rough around the edges, like literally.
They cleared a
rough
lot
around
out.
the edges.
Yeah, they cleared a lot out, but like not enough.
Lisa giving it a little run, little saucy run. Deann like 55 for a par.
66% of the field with a bogey or worse.
Ouch.
Catrina for par from a knee.
For birdie.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Here's the comebacker for Catrina's par.
Solid.
Yep, count it. Yeah, par does feel good on this one. It's kind of not a dream birdie, but just an absolute bonus, I think.
Yep.
Like, you're not thinking, oh, I'm going to get 17 today. It's like, I'm going to survive 17 today.
I'm going to get a par on 17.
It's going to be awesome.
Only 4% of the people got into Circle 1 in regulation, and there were also 4 birdies on the day. Sarah Hokum, Alexis Mandujano, Hannah Blomroos, and Emily Yale.
Very nice.
3s. Sick. And we go into the final hole. Hole 18.
Oh, man. What a way to end things.
Yes.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right, first shot. It's 295 feet to the front of this green on the right. You want to land in between the green and the string line OB to the left of that dirt cart path. Right about here, the OB line just cuts and it becomes the cart path. So the right side of the cart path is the out of bounds line, and then there's also an out of bounds line on the right that wraps behind it. So the landing zone, I think that's even a little bit far. A lot of women, this was I believe a straight headwind today, gonna land more just like even with the green, and then it's the world's sketchiest upshot to a teeny tiny triangular green.
And it was very windy in there too, even though it's a little sheltered by the trees. It was very windy up there still. Kristin airing it out more than most people will, and she's way out of bounds.
Yeah, no chance. And super difficult upshot coming up. You see a lot of women gonna lay up and try to get there just for par. This is a pretty brutal finishing hole in the worst possible wind.
Statistically, the most difficult hole of the day.
Mm-hmm. Lisa kind of thrown it up high and hyzered, and that's a really good play. She gets kind of close to that green, it looks like, but is fine.
I was chuckling because 85% of the field with a bogey or worse.
Ouch.
God. This should be a par 5, probably.
I just
FPO.
think the landing zone should be bigger. Ooh. Katrina OB on that green. The
landing zone
for
for
the tee, I think,
okay.
in particular. Or I'm sorry,
for the
pin.
upshot.
Yeah. Like the path could be in bounds, and there's a little left triangle that could be in bounds.
Yep.
And I think that would be fine. Deann with a really good shot before the green there.
This is just, yeah. The men have a tee pad that's even further back, so it gets even harder. I don't know. I don't know what to do for this hole. What could make it better? Because it would be taking that cart path and making it in bounds. Like, I don't know. This one's just hard to make good. It really is.
Yeah. So we saw a couple layups from Lisa and Deann. Catrina lining up the shot to go for it. Calls for a forehand or turnover like we see, but that OB, I think the OB right is also incredibly punishing.
Yeah.
Like, I think they should have just made this landing zone a little bit bigger.
Or they could have had the OB start further up, like by the big tree. Because
Yeah.
that landing in that little area where Catrina just landed is still a tough shot.
Kristin turning hers over into the OB. Let's see if we can come back. Hey, look at him give that green authoritatively. Just, yes, in. Deann's third. This is a tough shot here.
It's straight uphill, too. So you're trying to have something finish right or flex like Deann says. Wow, that's such a good shot.
Fantastic.
I think this green is no wider than about, 55 feet
Yeah.
at most?
Yeah. Ooh, Lisa kind of yanking it.
But that tree said, we got you.
All right.
We got you, girl.
All right.
That's that Texas love. Catrina throwing her 5th shot after 2 OB strokes, chipping up about 120 feet from the pin, and she's in the bullseye.
Yeah, rough finish. This is, just a tough hole.
It's brutal.
Kristin laying up her 4th, looking like a bogey for her, but still gonna finish the round under par, which is just kind of unbelievable. Whole nother level of golf.
Lisa giving it a run. Deann for par. Man, I wanted that. I wanted that for her. Only 15% of the field with a par. There were no birdies.
God.
Yeah.
So like we said, conditions, definitely a huge factor. That was a good bogey putt from Deann. But also I think this course could be designed in a way to promote a little bit better scoring for our field.
Yeah. And maybe this course... Yeah, I don't know. It's really, we have such a small data set right now with just this one
It'll be
day.
interesting to see how the rest of the weekend plays out for sure.
But I think we do have similar conditions tomorrow. Kristin, I mean, the fact that she's likely leading the field right now with a 1 under par it says a lot about the day today. And we'll see if we can either learn from our mistakes tomorrow or...
just stay in bounds more. Or just more pars, you know?
Or if we just all shoot the same again.
Yeah.
This is just the $1,000,000 over par open in Austin.
Welcome.
Too much red on these scorecards.
Yeah.
We hate to see it.
Kristin 1 under, Catrina 7 over, Deann 12, and Lisa 8. On the lead card, Paige Pierce and Ella Hansen all shot 1 under, and Henna Blomroos 2 over. Missy Gannon also at the 2 over line. Sarah Hokum, Owen Scoggins, Jessica Weiss, Holland Hanley at 3, top 10 rounded out at 4 over.
And not a lot of scoring separation at all from today. Everyone is real tight. The top 20, it looks like, is going to be settling in at around 7 over par, and there's about 1 million people there. From here, we can just cut it. Just turn this thing off. We don't need to see any more past this. Right?
Yeah.
There's no hot geese on this
Don't
scoreboard.
look for any names together that ended up pretty badly.
Thank you to our Founders Club, and thank you guys for hanging out and bearing with us during this round. We got another crack at it tomorrow. Similar conditions, but I don't know. I think the FPO has a whole new game plan. Keeping it safe, getting some pars. That's what we got to do. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 Hot Geese.
Honk.